All right, so our last section that we're going to talk about is the conclusion of your inference paper. And you will be very pleased because it has two things that are very easy to talk about. You are going to talk about whether or not the informal confidence intervals overlap, and if they do or do not, what conclusion you can draw from that. And then you are going to restate your original problem without changing it at all, and then answer the question, right? Because remember, your whole goal is to answer the question about something, I wonder if, right? So we're going to look at some examples of those and talk about the types of things that you need to write. So let's just go on to Education Perfect. Hold on. Okay, so again, we're going to be talking about whether or not the ICIs overlap, determine what that means in context, which is the big deal, and then write the conclusion by making an inference and discussing your findings. This is where you're going to rewrite your problem and then answer your questions. Okay? So, again, don't worry about too much about these. What we worry about is overlap. So what you're going to do is you're going to see if the informal confidence intervals overlap or not. Because if you'll remember, your original question was, I wonder if the median blah of this group is bigger than the median blah of this group, right? Well, if they overlap, then you cannot say that one is bigger than the other. Because the median could be anywhere in that blue zone, right? So, if they overlap, then you cannot draw a conclusion about it. But if they don't overlap, you can be fairly confident that one of them is bigger than the other. Now, again, it may be not the one you thought, so be careful about your context. So let's look at these. So here we go. Remember that the actual population median can fall anywhere in that range. So that's why we're talking about overlap of those two groups. So here, tomato weight by variety. Can I have it with any confidence say that big beef is always bigger than better boy? No, because why? The informal confidence intervals overlap. So even though it's only a tiny bit of overlap, and you can tell that easily by the number, look at this, 344.76, 344.43. So they barely overlap, the tiniest bit. So that's why it's important to have those number values. Then that means that even that tiny bit of overlap means that you cannot conclude that big beef is bigger than better boy. Most of the time they are, right? Now, with a different sample group, maybe, but if you had a good sample size here. Now again, if we look at our sample size here, we had sample size of 30. That's the minimum. So what if I took a bigger sample? They may not overlap, right? Because the bigger the sample, the smaller the confidence intervals. And since they overlap just a tiny bit, then if you took a bigger sample, that might not happen. You can be more confident in your conclusion. Okay? But based off this sample, we cannot make the claim. Okay? Even though it's just a tiny bit of overlap. Now, if you made a bigger sample, you could. Possibly. Who knows? Right? Now, remember, we're gonna talk about these sentences in a minute. When the true population medians must lie within that blue area, so you can make conclusions based on that. So let's look at what you're going to need to write your conclusion. So you're going to write your original question. That's just copy and paste. Your original question completely rewritten. Don't change a word. You're just going to copy and paste it again. Then you're going to say, because my ICIs overlap, or because they don't. Okay? You're going to say that that you need to be confident, so this part is not negotiable. The confident that the population medians lie somewhere in these ICIs, and that means you can then decide whether or not you can make a claim that one is bigger than the other. If they overlap, can you make the claim? No. Nope. If they don't overlap, can you make the claim? Yes. It's that simple. So keep it that simple, right? So let's look at how you would write that. So here we go. Do these blue parts overlap? No. There's no way. They're miles apart, right? Therefore, I can make I could be pretty confident that the median for the South Island, is going to be larger than the median for the North Island, right? Because the South Island one is way over here at 175-ish, and this one is at 164-ish. Okay? All right. So, look at what they write. I wondered whether the median diesel price in cents per liter for South Island stores is greater than the median diesel price in cents per liter for North Island stores. We can see that the ICIs for this sample medians do not overlap. I am confident that these ICIs contain the true population medians. So you see the sentences? And then here's your claim. Therefore, I can make the claim that the median diesel price in cents per liter for South Island stores is greater than the median diesel price in cents per liter for North Island stores. So this is the whole point to everything we've done. And here it is broken down. And again, this is exactly how I will grade it. I will make sure that you restate your original question. And again, that's just copy and paste. I need to be sure that you can see that they overlap or not. Right? Now be careful with your data. You don't always get overlap. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Okay? You need to state that you can be confident that they contain the true population group medians. This whole top part is just what you need for an achieved. But again, there's very little here. All you have to do, the only thing that you need is the pink area. You need to say, do not overlap or do overlap. Everything else there, except for, and obviously, what you're measuring is what you need to put there and be specific. But again, that's just going to be copy and paste straight from your question.
Will we all have the same data?
Let me get there. Hold on. Yes. Okay. And then, but the green sentence, that sentence better be identical. Don't mess with that one at all. So this one is copy and paste from your question. I will have already approved or disapproved of your question. So that one you'll know you're okay. Only thing that changes here is do or do not overlap, right? Otherwise, you can see that everything will be the same. And then finally, you need to talk about, can you make the claim? And you can if they do not overlap. You cannot if they do. So your conclusion should be very straightforward and easy. And the mathematics behind it is super easy. You're just seeing if the blue boxes overlap. But compare the numbers. They can be so close that they look like they don't when they actually do. So be careful. I'm gonna look at the numbers as I do this. Notice you don't even have to mention the numbers in here. Okay? So make sure you have every part. And again, they break it down a little bit further so you can see that what this one is specific to your data. This one is just what everybody is going to write. Okay? And that's what you're going to do. So let me give you an assignment so you can practice writing some of those.